Um, when I do this freestyle, I really don't know what's gonna come out. I really don't understand it at times. All I do when I do understand is that it's something that's simple, and I'm not the most intelligent man in the world at all, but I do know this: we are all worth it. And I know you make fun of me a lot, and I don't mind it, but I do this for the people that feel like they're not. Yeah. There's some days that don't love me back. There's some days that don't love me back. Oh. There's some days that don't love me back. There's some days that don't love me back. And I don't mind. I don't. I don't. Yeah. Yeah. I'm part of it. I see this, everything is part of like its own esophagus, and then we swallow down, and then we hold it down, and then the ideas of straight digital worlds, the worlds that came, the ideas, the worlds that came from my own, like the ideas through his own felicities, the solidilities, and then he sit down through his institution needs. And then we look at these, I make up so many ideas of words, but once you play with the words and then you look at the words and these words came to be, you realize I'm not playing bullshit. I look at these. Yeah, my tooth may be chipped. My other side might be fucking ripped. The ideas be fucking sipped, and then I see nothing but I sit in the lake and I take this fucking dip. I sit down surrounded by this ocean, but the ocean creates waves when you're sitting in the fucking lake. It sits so still, it's so silent, it's so silent. You know, I've never been the best of as a human being. I'm ah, ah, yeah, I take this own ideas of a bike that came from the 10 speeds. We're looking for the next electronic to get this own next erector speeds. Goes in the thermal ideas, then it makes it explode and make it ideas. And then you look to the thermals when it was cold, when I was sitting in this winter cold. I see this ideas my mind couldn't see from the straight centerfold. A lot of people say it's smooth brain, and then I get these smooth fucking brains that hit these ideas and shoot her in the fucking brain. Then she looked at back, and then she filled her belly with that. She couldn't have one watermelon. She could. She couldn't. There's a lot of things that came at me. There are a lot of things that came after me. A lot of demons that know my fucking last name but won't say my first. And then I see nothing through the thermals that see the ideas through my ideas of very fucking thirst. I'm looking at these girls going from these ideas of snapping chats, and then they chat and snap. They say, hello, baby, and then I say, Oh, you're just like rabies. I know because I see the radius. I see the aura that you couldn't see from your straight diameters. You're like kilometers, and then you sit down and try to sit down and switch it back to the 3 standard. There's only 3, hold it back, and then I'm looking down to the ideas of straight discrete. There's just one thing that I have to ask you. There's just one thing I have to ask you. Once I'm fucking done, will you just leave me alone? And when I'm all alone, I'll call you again. Because I fear some days when I'm all alone. There's just some days when I'm so lonely, so lonely. But am I lonely? Oh. Yeah, I sit inside this bunker, them bunks and those, and then I see nothing but straight to tonks and those. I sit down, something twisted inside. Some days it's like a vampire mixed with a straight of werewolf. I'm so on 2 sides. They want me to make me self. They want me to choose a side. I sit aside. I sit aside. They want me to just choose a fucking side. They just want me to choose a side. And I fucking hide. There's something in me, like I understand this own hybrid. What happens if I'm just the first? What happens after I do? So my grandma used to, she used to make, like I said, the collard greens, and she'd make this mac and cheese, this straight fucking homemade mac and cheese. And I understand when you're saying to yourself like, I like mac and cheese, but when she used to make this mac and cheese, she wouldn't sing, she would just hum. So I didn't learn how to rap from there, but it came from backs and theirs, and then from backs, and then I see nothing to the ideas and stare. I sit and stare. She just rocking to the beat and rocking. Some days it was some music, some days she listened to the straight fucking gangster rap and hold her head going like a bat. Then she cool to see, and then she swing it back, and then she hold it back, and then she show me something straight, so real, so surreal, that holding meals and holding thills, and then she'd feed me her fucking meal. When I'd hide upstairs, when the families came, she would put just one bowl in the fridge and sprinkle just a little bit of bacon that she could have put inside the collard greens for the entire family. She just saved me just a bit for me. And I'll never forget that when she came and then she gave, and that when she came upstairs and said, "Come boy," she used to hold my hand, and I'd sit on the ground just straight cross-legged, straight Avatar last bender, and then she'd just say, "Come on boy, come on, leave your blanket and toys." My whole game was left on pause. She'd call me down to the stairs when she understood I felt so uncomfortable, and then comfortable with this ideas, and then she held me back. She said, "No, don't shed your tears. Don't shed your tears. Don't shed your tears." You know, she meant a lot to me at that time and age, and time to those and age, and then I time and age, and then I sat down because I never knew my own straight Native American grandmother. My mother loved her so much. I used to hear her whisper about her, how she taught her the language, and then she traded the language, and how she told her to fucking leave this place no matter how you see her deranged. You're not made for this, girl. You're not made for this shit. You're not home on the range. But my mama was something in her that was like me, a loose screw in her. When the cogs of the machine ran too fast, just one flicker of a frickin' screw came out, and then it slapped down to a fucking slash. So we know it's like lightning. You never heard no fucking thunder. And underheard, and then she underheard, and then she would just show me these own diamonds. There were only 2 diamonds, and we called them crystals. There were only 2 diamonds, and they hung on their earrings, and they were crystals. I'm not saying like these crystals sold her life, or one held her life, and then one saved her life, and then I hold her life. There was 2 crystals that gave her life. There was 2 crystals that gave her some life. 1 and 2 had to die for her, and then she realized that something came from the survivor's guilt. Guilt that survived and then couldn't see yourself because you never knew how to bury it straight to alive. They say 6 and 7, but I realize if you don't want the dogs to find it, dig it 12. Dig it 12. Dig it 12. Dig it 12. And then they come sniffing, and then they realize they ain't getting shit even though they whiffing. And even though the ideas, I realize I'm not on the Pistons. I never want to be Scottie Pippen. I just want to be Shiloh. We want to see this own rappers through this own synosis, like a straight hypnosis, even though the doses. And then you want to trade this, so you up the dosage. So, when my grandma came back and we hit the fucking tiles at the bottom floor, it was so cold, and even though the sun gonna fucking reflect it back, she never had to fucking reflect back. She was just being in the moment. She was just being in the moment. And some days she wasn't the perfect woman. She wasn't the best woman at the time and age to raise her sons. But at this time, I realized she was working so hard just to give a refund. And times, I know you're alright. I never want to be this fucking guy. I never want to paint this facade. But some days a mask coming through this own appeal. And then you see the fucking lift. And then you see appeal. Then you wrap it to the ideas. And then you look into appeal. Then you realize you won't know Mac and those. You won't want a fucking fat and nose. You don't want a slant eye. You only want the best in teeth just to look at the eyes. But you don't only look at with your fucking eyes. And that's why you'll never get the best guy. That's why you'll never get the best guy that's suited for you. The guy that will love you, that will hold you. That when you come out the shower, when the makeup comes off, he'll hold you from the back of your belly. Even though you got a little chub, he'll kiss it, let it go on like you realize you're not supposed to be perfect. You're supposed to be this flawless imperfection. And you realize it's just rain down, rain down, rain down. It wasn't supposed to rain down. You weren't supposed to rain down. You were supposed to be something much more. And you realized and you lost it for more.